Hey y'all, it's Brittany. How's it going today? I hope everyone is doing well. Today's video is all about answering one of the top questions I receive here on my channel and on LinkedIn. That question is this: what is the skill set needed to become a data center technician at Google? And the website you see here on the screen is on the Google Careers website, and a link to it is in the description box below. Please go check it out after you watch this video. And it answers that question. And I'm so happy that this website is now available, because I used to point people to my post on my website. That's also in the description box. But it's nice to have official resources that I can give someone, because I may leave something out, and I want to give those individuals who are trying to get a data center technician role at Google the best opportunity, the best chance, so they can have all the information so they can be successful. And this website does a fantastic job about this. And so let's go ahead and look at this website in more detail. I want to review the skills needed and provide some more information. Now let's look at the overview needed, let's look at the overview of the skills needed. And here we're looking at three: infrastructure, hardware, networking, connectivity, problem solving, and analytical skills. So we look at the first one, infrastructure and hardware. According to the website, anyone interested in gaining the data center technician skills to pass the interviews need to know the following: applied data security. This means having the knowledge of how to handle a server to maintain data security. Thus, one should understand where data lives, such as a hard drive, and how to properly handle data so that person doesn't compromise it and cause an incident. Now, when we look at data center hardware architecture, this skill is geared towards individuals working in IT that don't understand the type of hardware within a data center. Now, if you're used to office hardware, which is totally different, that person can learn data center hardware architecture by watching videos on YouTube and doing research online. However, having physical experience is best. Some examples: working in a data center is loud. The machines are loud. Yes, we have earphones, we have earbuds, we have the over the head that covers your ears. You have to watch out for that. There are also other dangers that are not inherent to working in the office, because the data center hardware architecture is using electricity that, unfortunately, if you touch it the wrong way, could kill you. It's unfortunate, but there is that. You do have to work at height sometimes, so you could fall from a ladder and hurt yourself, like break a leg or something like that. So you need to know about the different hardware architecture that makes a data center totally different than working in an office. That doesn't mean that if you only have office experience, you aren't suited for data center work. It's just that you have to learn it and be ready to change your workflow. Now, regarding data center infrastructure, the website suggests that candidates know the network, cooling, and how power works in a data center. Again, one can learn about this using YouTube. There's plenty of videos about how a network, cooling structures, and power works in a data center. Again, this is going to be totally different if you work in an office environment, because you're probably used to a regular LAN in the office, and in the data center is going to have a much bigger and a more complex network infrastructure. Cooling structures, you're most likely used to just the regular HVAC that they have in an office building, and data center, they're going to have these huge cooling towers. So it's totally different. But again, this is a skill that you can learn with some research online. Now, regarding data center operating systems, candidates need to know how operating systems work when it comes to the boot process and how to troubleshoot issues. Which operating system do people need to know? I suggest Linux, because it runs a majority of the servers powering the internet today. However, if your only knowledge is about Windows, you can still use that, but I highly suggest that you learn the basics of Linux, because That's what Google uses, and that's what a lot of these servers in the data center use. Doesn't matter what company it is. Could be Google, could be AWS, could be Microsoft. A lot of them are going to be using some type of Linux operating system, some flavor. Machine, equipment, and components. This is last but not least. Individuals need to know the types of hardware used in servers, how to interact with each other, how to troubleshoot various types of issues. I always tell people this when they ask about a particular skill set to study. If you don't know your computer hardware and troubleshooting steps, you're not going to get the job. I'm just going to point it out there. So if you know that your troubleshooting skills are so-so, you really need to work on improving that. Because that's what you're going to be doing in the data center day in and day out. Not only are you repairing the machines, you're determining why that machine failed, what part it needs, and how to repair it. So you really need to know your computer hardware and troubleshooting skills. Now let's look at network and connectivity. There's only 3 things here. First up, network equipment and components. People need to know about the various types of network equipment commonly found in data centers. Good examples are fiber optic cabling, switches, routers, and optic transceivers, to name a few. Wikipedia and YouTube are great resources to learn if someone doesn't have that experience. I would say from my own personal, because I've done interviews at Google for data center technicians, some people don't have experience with fiber optic cabling and optic transceivers because those are expensive, and maybe they only have experience with Ethernet cabling. That's fine, but you still need to go and do some research and learn the basics about fiber optic, learn about the fragility, learn about the 2 types of fiber optic cabling. That's going to be multi-mode and single mode. Learn about the different optic transceivers. There's SFPs, there's all types of OSFP, there's all types of transceivers, but learn the basics. That will really help you. When it comes to data center network architecture, this skill can get really complex fast, and I do caution people, you can fall down a rabbit hole. Be very careful. Now granted, if you're going for an L1 or L2, these are going to be your entry-level data center technician roles at Google. You need to know the basics. So you need to know how a network works. But if you're going for an L3 or L4 role at the company, these are more advanced. You need to know more about how a network works within a data center. And you need to get into the nitty-gritty of this detail. So depending on what role, you can get really complex because you have to, or you just need to really know the basics and you'll be okay. So again, it depends on what role you're going for. And then when it comes to computer networking, I suggest individuals know the Open Systems Interconnection Model, or the OSI model, and common internet protocols such as TCP, IP, UDP, DNS, all that good stuff. Because again, that's how the internet works. Simply, I'm just gonna put it simply and generally, and you need to know these protocols and how they work and how they interact with each other and how it gets the bits and bytes out from the data center into the public, because once you know the information, it will really help you during the interview process. Finally, let's look at the problem solving and analytical skills. We're looking at data center analysis, data analysis and synthesis and troubleshooting. When it comes to these, I will just make it simple. You need to know the skills on how to properly troubleshoot problems when they arise, be it on a server or on a network. And you need to know where to find that information containing the errors and other information so you can properly troubleshoot. So you need to know how to find logs. Where are the logs located? What is your troubleshooting process? How do you troubleshoot a network issue? How do you troubleshoot a computer hardware issue? How do you troubleshoot an operating system issue? And you really, in my opinion, if you are not used to explaining this to people, maybe because you do it so often, I would say write it down. Because once you start writing down the steps of how you troubleshoot, you start filling in the gaps of how do I explain this? Because in the interview, that's what you're gonna have to do. You're going to have to explain how you would troubleshoot something. And so if you write it down and you go over it, that helps you prepare. But I am going to do a separate interview about the interview preparation guide that Google Careers put out for the data center role, because it's really good information, but that's going to be a future video. Let's talk about how do you gain these skills. So you're probably looking at all of this. You say, Brittany, I'm ready to apply, or maybe I'm not. How do I gain these skills so I can become this data center technician? If you haven't already, I would highly, highly consider going for the Google IT support certificate. This is great if you have little to no experience in IT, you want to switch into IT, you're looking for, maybe you've been working in IT for a year or so, and you're looking to bolster your skills by gaining a certificate or gaining a certification. This one I highly recommend, not just because I've taken it myself, not just because I work at Google, but because it is a self-paced, work on your own. It has not only videos, but hands-on exercises. It has quizzes. It has all that stuff. And not only that, you can get, once you finish up, you can get help by going for jobs with companies that partnered with Google Careers. And I used to really recommend the CompTIA A+ certification, but it has gotten so expensive over the years, and it's I don't really see the value in CompTIA A+ anymore, especially when the Google, support, the IT support certificate connects you with over 150 top employers. So once you finish this certificate, you can join this job group and apply for open jobs with these companies and more. CompTIA A+ certification doesn't offer that. And these are the main reasons I now push for it. And the other reason is right here in these frequently asked questions. How much does it cost? Is through Coursera, and it costs $49 per month. You do get a 7-day free trial, and if you study about 10 hours per week, many students complete the certificate in 3 to 6 months. That means you're looking at $150 to $300 in investment. With the CompTIA A+ certification, you got to take 2 tests. It's now I think over $500 or it might be over like $600. I have to go look at the exact, but it's very expensive now. And that's just the exam. We're not talking about training materials. We're not talking about study materials. You could be looking at, with CompTIA A+ certification, investing at least $700 to $800 into it. And so with that, I really rather have a person take the 7-day free trial course, see if this is something worthwhile. Maybe the CompTIA A+ certification, maybe they'll like that more. But listen, 7-day free trial, $49 per month, $150 to $300. Now, if you do take longer to that, maybe if you take 9 months, of course, you're going to have to spend more. But I just think this is a really great certificate to help develop the skills needed, not just for a data center technician. Like I said, you will learn the skills to become a sysadmin, advanced IT technician, SRE or site reliability engineer, senior IT support technician, or IT support 2. Because many employers call them by different names, but you can learn from this certification. So you will be prepared for so many different roles. But that's what I suggest now. Like I said, I've taken it because I wanted to see what the difference between this and CompTIA, because I used to have the A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. I still have the Linux Plus. The other 3, I got those way back when they were called the Forever Certs, and then they changed it, and I never recertified because I at that point had been in IT for so long, and I was like, I'm not doing that. But that's my suggestion on how to get the skills needed. And I think if you really put the time into it, you can get one of these roles. If we actually just click on here real quick, It'll take you about what roles are currently available, not just here in the US, but all over the world. I know sometimes my channel can seem like America-centric is because I'm an American and I don't know too much about the laws overseas, but yes, this website does work for individuals who want to apply to data center technician jobs overseas too, because really all this doesn't matter if you're applying for a role that's in America or Singapore, I'm trying to think of other data centers, or Belgium or Chile or Japan. I'm just naming off where we have data centers. You're going to need the skills needed no matter where you apply. So yeah, but go ahead, take a look to see what roles. You're going to see that these are matching up because it's over in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's going to match up to what the Google career page was saying, and you can go ahead and see how much they are paying. So yeah, we got roles open in Indiana, Alabama, Oklahoma, Phoenix, Arizona, Iowa, Virginia, Texas. Like I said, we got them everywhere. Well, not exactly everywhere. Oh, here, Sunnyvale, California. Sunnyvale's nice. I've been there. I actually want to go back. This is my first time actually seeing a role in Sunnyvale. So this would be an entry level. I was about to end the video, but now that I started looking at roles, like this would be for an entry level role in Sunnyvale, California, which is nice. Here's one. I was just talking about Belgium. Here's a Belgium role. I actually went to Belgium and helped these individuals out deploy some hardware. Nice area. And this is data center technician 3, so this would be like a seniorish type role, so they need someone with more experience. It does say early, but usually a 3 you need more experience. Here we go down in Mexico. We got Montreal, Canada. We have Japan. Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah. And so, this is the new metro that they're building over in Belgium. So yeah, we have India. All types of, what is this, 93? Oh, they're probably talking about other roles. So yeah, go and check it out. And if you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment box below. I've been bad about answering my questions. I've been late, and so sorry about that, but put it in the comment box below. You could always, again, ask me on LinkedIn. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.